Welcome back, folks. Me again, Sheepdog Smokey here. This one is going to be a little shorter because I'm not a doctor. I'm not a virologist, epidemiologist, or any of it. But this one, it makes a lot of sense when you look at things from a different perspective. This appears to be a gentleman who is a doctor talking about COVID 19 and what he's seeing that is not normal. Before we go on and jump into that video, please remember to subscribe, turn on notifications, all that jazz. Again, I'm doing the giveaway at 500, 1,000, and 1,500 subscribers, so you'll want to be a part of that. So let's go on and look at this video.
I'm not much of a conspiracy theorist. I like data. I like real objective facts. I like ones and zeros. But there's something a little funny about this coronavirus. And we talked about this yesterday, the fact that normally viruses affect the very young, the immunocompromised, the elderly. And what's interesting is this one doesn't tend to affect the young much at all. In fact, these immune systems that are very immature, they don't have all the antibodies and all the other components that they need to fight the viruses, the bacteria, the funguses. But they're actually doing okay with this virus, almost like it's been modified to do this, okay? Maybe we're supposed to just believe it just happened by chance. But then also interesting about this virus is normally it takes, by the time your mucous membranes are already swelling up from the virus and we're getting all these symptoms of congestion and cold and cough, that's when finally we have a high enough viral load that you can be contagious. This one, you're actually very contagious early. I think the gap is almost like 5 days, last I heard. So it's made for rapid spread. It's made to only affect people that are more disabled or immunocompromised and elderly. In other words, the people that are less likely to contribute to a society. The people that, if you were concerned about population control, that aren't really contributing as much, in fact, are more of a burden, if you would say, on the different parts of a healthcare system and other support systems. Also interesting, China's a very large country, okay, north to south, about 3,400 miles. About 3,250 miles east to west. And in this mammoth-sized country, right here sits Wuhan, where the outbreak was. Well, isn't it interesting that the actual Wuhan Institute, the virology, Virus Research Institute, is like right here. And right here, only 20 miles apart, is the fish market. So this mammoth country, there's the fish market where it was found the first time. There's the Institute for Virus Research. Boy, the chances are just incredible. Now, maybe, again, I'm not a bunch of conspiracy theorists and I'm just making too much of this, but I want to see what y'all think about this.
What he's saying here makes a lot of sense. The term coronavirus is not unique to COVID-19. It is an entire group. COVID-19 is a strain of coronavirus. But when you look at it, the rhinovirus, the common cold, you're not contagious until you're exhibiting symptoms, lymph nodes, congestion, sneezing, runny nose, all those things. You're not contagious with the common cold until you are exhibiting the symptoms. Same with influenza, other things like that. But this one, you're contagious very early, and you may not even know you were exposed and you're contagious. Viruses do. And I remember I caught everything as a kid. I caught colds from anyone who was even sniffling. And there's a reason for that, as he points out. As a child, your immune system is still growing. You're still being exposed to pathogens and antigens and antibodies and so on and so forth. Your body is still building that immunoresponse. Children aren't really susceptible to this. They're so far below adults and the elderly that it's almost engineered. When you look at where it originated, and no, it is not racist to say it originated in China. It originated in Wuhan, just blocks from a fish market, at a virus institute. We've had people talk for years that a pandemic is coming and that it's going to kill millions. We have them now, Bill Gates, chief among them. But you need only to watch YouTube to find videos of idiotic, just moronic college students. I've been planning this spring break in Miami for months. I'm not going to let this ruin my vacation. Or I just turned 21. I want to go drinking, but the bars are closed. complaining, if I get coronavirus, I get coronavirus. Then you see them on Twitter where they're actually cheering that the elderly and the infirmed, which do tend to vote more Republican than Democrat, are being infected more. If I was a suspicious person, if I was a conspiracy theorist, I could easily see that this is engineered to remove a percent of the population that doesn't vote how the powers that be want people to vote. We've already seen, though, that in California, New York, Washington, Oregon, they don't really need that. But they need the flyover country where we plebs, who they don't care about because they think we're backward inbred hicks, live, and we don't let illegal aliens vote. We don't let non-citizens here legally vote. We don't let you cross into our state when you don't live here and vote. So they need the people who vote Republican to be neutralized. Like I said, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not overly suspicious, but this guy makes a lot of sense. And to think about it, it's rather scary. But when you think about it from another point of view. I know I've made videos on this before, and I'm not going to ignore the topic in the future. But when you look at Revelation prophecy, end of days, and when you look at the end times, end of days prophecy, end of days predictions from anyone, famine and plague are a large part of all of them. Because famine and plague do one thing very well. Let's get people to rely on the government. Get them to cry out for help from the government. I will happily admit, if the government decides to send me $1,200, I'm going to use that to make sure I can keep my parents fed and supplied and my truck running and so on. I might decide, you know what, instead of making them a grilled cheese tonight, maybe I'll order something and go pick it up, have it brought to my car, and bring home a nicer meal for them. Maybe I'll go get some good beef burgers or something, or chicken breasts or whatever, and cook a nice meal because I can afford it. But I'm not the kind of person who thinks the government should step in at every occasion, at every situation, and take care of us. Because I don't want someone else deciding what is good for me. And that's what famine and plague do. They get people to scream that the government must solve this problem. And when it's not happening on their own time, with science where it is today, it's not a stretch to think it could be engineered. You know what? I despise the man, but Stephen King's The Stand is a great example of how a pandemic can be engineered and then get out of hand, where the government that engineered it can't do anything about it. And I really hope I'm wrong on that. I really hope so. I mean, granted, this one is nowhere near what Captain Trips did in The Stand. This is being adequately handled by social distancing and so on and so forth. But just imagine if anyone was able to finally prove that this actually was engineered and done on purpose. For decades, we've sent manufacturing for medical supplies, production of antiviral medicines and antibiotics and such to China. The country now threatening to refuse to sell us any of those things to kill off Americans. It all fits together way too perfectly for my tastes. But I don't want to go down a conspiracy theory rabbit hole. I am not one of those people. Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, remain civil. We're not here to scream, yell, and insult each other. We're here to talk and debate. And we can do that civilly. As always, please remember to subscribe, turn on notifications, like the video so that we can expand the conversation, and so you're part of the giveaway at 500 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers, and 1,500 subscribers for 1, 2, and 3 books respectively. Until next time, keep your heads, stay safe, stay healthy, and have a wonderful day.